Test one, two, test one, two, test one, two, test one, two. The levels, the levels, the levels, the levels, the levels, the levels, the levels. I see the levels. Good evening. I am Juanki, and welcome to my world. Drop a bomb on that. If you have stumbled upon this channel, I am a cornucopia of stuff. A cornucopia of stuff. And my soundboard is giving me a little bit of an issue right now. But a cornucopia of stuff. I'm going to get this crowd going. Yes, thank you. Thank you. It is what it is. Coming to you live from the new studio. Okay, so if you're here, you're probably looking for tonight's little advice thing. This is a new segment. For the last week, I think we've been I've been perusing the internet streets and finding people asking for advice. And so then I come out here, I read it, and we give our unsolicited, unbiased advice. Okay, drop a bomb on that. Tonight I have a long one, but it should be pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and start. It's titled "I Feel Like Giving Up on Gay Dating in New York." Okay, and it goes like this. Excuse me, excuse me. I didn't warm up. Yeah, I didn't warm up, and I'm peeking. Give me a second. Hold on. I need to get all my settings together, ladies and gentlemen, because this is only like my second time coming through from the new studio. So, okay, cool. So let's go ahead. It says, let me make sure that the chat is open. The chat is open. The chat is open. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. This should be a good one. It's titled, "I Feel Like Giving Up on Gay Dating in New York." Give me okay. Some of my moderators, please. Some of my moderators, please. You know exactly what needs to happen. Okay? All right, let me focus. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3. Here we go. I feel like giving up on gay dating in New York. I'm at a point where I feel like giving up on gay dating. I'm 40 and live in NYC. It's constant disappointment. The guys who I like are not interested in me, whereas the guys who are interested in me, I'm not interested in them. I seem to always attract the wrong people. I've even gone out on a few dates with guys I initially didn't think to be a match to give them a chance. And whenever I do, my first instinct has been correct. I'm interested in masculine, straight presenting types. I'm the same, well-educated, professional, and clean-cut. I mean, no offense to those who don't fit that description, but I have a type and it's important to me. The dating apps have been so difficult. I see guys I like, they rarely like me back. When they do, and I send them a message to initiate a conversation, they either don't respond with little effort, or we have a first date and it never turns into a second date. I feel like everyone has seen my photos, and so my profile is producing diminishing returns on the app. Oh my God, he sounds like he's in a boardroom. Diminishing returns, the return on investment, right? Diminishing returns on the apps. Ladies and gentlemen, please go ahead and keep the comments going. All right, I'm not paying attention to the comments right now. Let me just get rid of. And you, sir, are banned. Look at that, boom! You earned yourself a VIP pass directly to Banville, which I usually don't ban people or block people, but we're trying to do something here. So let's go ahead. If I am not paying attention to the comments, I apologize, but I gotta focus on the read. Okay. Where did we leave off? I feel like everyone has seen my photos, and so my profile is producing diminishing returns on the apps. It's the same cycle over and over again. I've tried to form in-person connections as well, but social events are difficult. I find the gay scene to be very cliquey, so it's hard to break in. I'm not a bar or a club person either. I sometimes feel like I don't belong in gay spaces, as I always find it difficult to relate to people there, as I'm not someone who wears their sexuality on their sleeve. I always hear the recommendation to find hobby groups. I don't really have interests that are conducive to groups or hobbies. Okay? The times when I've met someone I like at social events, I've followed up but they never express any interest in an ongoing relationship, romantic or even platonic. When I like someone, I date with intention, and I always feel like I'm initiating, but never feels like it's reciprocated. The one bright spot has been the new Gayborhood app. I guess that's a new app. I've gone to a dinner and liked it. The guys who were with me weren't romantic matches, but I enjoyed the form of small group dinners and meeting new people. It can be isolating living in Manhattan and being gay. I see people constantly who are couples, straight and gay, and it hurts to see everyone moving on with their lives and me trying to reach out, but nothing changes, and my life stands still. I feel socially invisible. Some of the most enduring connections I've made in gay dating have been with people who don't live in New York. It's strange how that works. Does anyone else feel this way? Advice or even connections are welcome. Don't hesitate to DM me. Okay, drop a bomb on that. Okay. All right. Okay, before I read the most liked comment advice that was on the page, because I'm gonna do that, let me give you my take on this. And this is a top one commenter. Okay, he has the thing. Let me see if we're on the same line. I have not read the top comment or advice. Let me see. Okay, so you're 40. You're in New York City. You sound well educated. The first thing that I would say is the hangups. He said he doesn't wear his sexuality on his sleeve, but the first couple of lines in his monologue talks about straight acting, well educated, all of that, right? So sexuality is not just the flamboyant type. Sexuality is also the masculine type. Drop a bomb on that. So there's a little bit of there's a little bit of a disconnect there as a 40-year-old, right? New York City, there's like how many millions of people here, right? And you can't find a group that you can hang out with. I find that hard to believe. As somebody who was a bachelor in my prime, successful, running the streets of New York City, I ran with a fabulous group of people. Can it be clingy? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. And in the gay world, it should be, because you just can't have everybody around and roll up with everybody, right? Oh, by the way, these are my views. These are my thoughts. These are my Juanki views, okay? Don't take it as a gospel. It's just my experience. I'm giving you my experience as I've seen it through these eyes, okay? And this body. So it's probably going to be different for other people, but this is what's true and what speaks to me, all right? So that's number one. Number two, I think that he sounds like a very unique individual. Okay, the way that he's expressing himself, so that automatically eliminates a whole bunch of other people that will probably not be in the same room as he is. I think that at 40, right? At 40, you need to look and see why your 30s did not yield something successful. I'm not going to go low as 20, because 20 is 20, but between 30 and 40, what went down between 30 and 40 where you weren't connecting with people, even on a friendship level? I'm not even talking about like dating or on a sexual level, but on a friendship level. What happened during 30 and 40 that nothing yielded a successful relationship or a network, of people, friendships? That I wish she would have talked a little bit more about that, because that will be, there will be a lot to uncover during those years of 30s to 40, right? That decade. Suggestions. I think Incredible Hulk says, let me just put it up in the screen. Can I put you on the screen here? I don't know if I can put you on the screen here. Can I put you on the screen here? He has internal homophobia. Drop a bomb on that. Absolutely. That's what it sounded like. When he led with his sexuality and said that he's not leading with sexuality. That's confusion, chaos, and drama right there, if you ask me. Confusion, chaos, and drama. Then because at the end of the day, he's a gay individual in the gay world, there's the flip side. Are you well put together? Okay, you could be educated. You could have a successful job. You could be in the boardroom. But are you well put together? when you ride the train in New York City, before you open your mouth, before uh, anybody knows your resume, what they're looking at, the exterior, are you well put together? Okay, because the first thing people are gonna see is your outside. Are you well put together? Are your nails clean? I'm not talking about you need to look like you off the runway every single day, but do you maintain yourself? Okay, do you? Because that says a lot. Like when I was a bachelor and I was dating in New York City, uh, having a great time, and he mentions that the people that he has been able to connect has been outside of the city, has been in other states. I can relate to that. A lot of you guys who have followed me over the few decades that I've been here saw that there was a long periodical of time where I was going on dates. And to me, I would date wherever the connection is. And y'all saw me get on planes and travel just for a weekend to date somebody, go on a date with somebody, hang out, come back, and then told you all about it during my vlogs. But so, it is what it is, right? But are you well put together? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you well shaven? Are you, is the hygiene there? I used to say, for me, one of the most important things before I even engage with somebody in a conversation, when I was trying to date or whatever. I'm married now. Okay, drop a bomb on that. I'm married now. But when I was trying to date and all of that, one of my biggest requirements was good teeth. My joke was that teeth are the window to the soul. Okay, if you're not taking care of your teeth, and I could even deal with, they're a little crooked because we could do some braces and stuff like that. But I need to see white teeth. Okay, I cannot see plaque, tartar. I cannot see gingivitis, gungivitis, whatever. I cannot see bleeding gums. That was the absolute, because to me, that always said, if you cannot take care of your teeth, if you're not brushing them in the morning and then flossing before you go to bed and brushing them again and doing your mouthwash, what other parts of your body you're not taking care of? Drop a bomb on that. That was an absolute deal breaker for me. Like I said, if you needed some Invisaligns or some bracers, we can deal with that. Or even had them on, I could deal with that. But for you to have unkempt teeth, that's a non-negotiable for me. That I could never. Okay, I could never. Let's see the advice that was given by one of the readers here. He gave quite a lengthy advice, and he got voted. He's the highest voted. So a lot of people agree with this advice. Okay. Fashion Queen 96 says, I can understand your struggle, and the only advice that I have is to find social groups. And I know that you said in your post that that a lot of your hobbies are not necessarily conducive to social groups, but I do think that there are social groups for every person in every interest, and that is absolutely true. I myself, when I was dating, I joined a couple of social groups. I come from theater, so that in itself already has its concentric circles and groups. You got your dancers, you got your singers, you got your actors, and even in the actors, then you break it down to your dramatic actors that do the Shakespearean work, Yale School of Drama, like they're really, and then you have your clowns, your comedic actors, your stand-up comics, like all of that. So there's even groups within that. Dancers, you have your contemporary, you have your hip hop, you have your classical dancers, all of that. So there's different groups that you can join. But I remember when I was looking at groups, like this poster is saying, there's groups for everything. I remember seeing groups of like accountants that they would meet a couple of times a month for a happy hour, just to like meet and chill and relax, make connections. I've seen groups where it's like let's say like the accountants, for example, they will meet and then they will form like a baseball team or a baseball league, or this all it's New York City. So that in itself, it sounds a little bit like a pity party that this person is like putting out, you know what I'm saying? Like it just feels like a little bit of a Debbie Downer type of thing because it's New York City. They are groups for everybody. Hello, the purse is closed. Nice to see you. I'm doing my new segment. It's a new segment where we give unsolicited advice. So let me continue with the advice of this poster. He says, but I do think that there are social groups for every person and every interest. Every interest. Use my head to look a little bit harder. Use my head. He should have said your head, but use your head to look a little bit harder for them. I would check out the Meetup app because there's lots of people who get together with social groups on there, whether it's for book clubs, game night, board games, video games, getting coffee, things like that. And that makes it really easy to meet up with people. If you're a sports guy, there are tons of sports leagues you could join that are essentially intramurals. Don't know what he means by that, but they're essentially intramurals. And there's probably a Stonewall Sports somewhere where you could go and meet other like-minded sports people. Okay, now I get it. So Stonewall is a gay lounge, a gay bar, and it's actually a landmark. So he's referring to there may be a group there, like a sports group that you can join. And he's going the sports angle because remember, he said he's masculine. Okay, he's masculine presenting and acting, but I don't lead with my sexuality. Okay. Additionally, I think that there is room for you to open your mind a little bit to connections that you might not necessarily feel are inherently what you're interested in. I know you've said you've dated people who are outside of what your traditional type is to give them a chance. And you end up being right and that there are no connections there. But I'm wondering how much you actually try to make a connection with them. I'm not saying that you did anything wrong or that you are inherently the problem, but I am saying that dating is not always easy and it's not something that you can just fall into necessarily. And sometimes you have to take a chance on someone who doesn't necessarily seem like your specific type. I'd also love to chat a little more about your specific type and why it's important to you to connect with people that you initially feel like you have shared interests with. Like you were saying that you are a more masculine guy who is straight passing. And that is something that you're really interested in, really important to you. And I'd love to try to understand why that's important to you, because I truly believe that there is a high likelihood and possibility that a lot of this discomfort and dislike or distaste for guys who present in a way that seems more feminine, or guys who portray a lot of traditional gay stereotypes comes from some internalized homophobia. Drop a bomb on that. See, the purse is closed. This is what we call a professional reading. You see, this is my type. This is my type right here. This is my type of friend right here. Okay, this is a professional. Okay, a professional, clear, and concise reading. All right, let's continue. And I know nobody ever wants to think that they are homophobic in any way, especially people who do identify as gay. And I am not saying that for sure. That's for sure the case. However, I think it's something that's important to look into, because if this distance and discomfort surrounding people who are perceived as gay in a different way that you does in fact comes from a place of internalized homophobia, then if you can allow yourself to just open your mind a little bit and tackle that internalized homophobia, it'll open up the world so much for you. Also, if it does come from a place of internalized homophobia, he has been mentioned him as an internalized homophobe like 10 times. Like 10 times. Okay. Homophobia. There is a Hope, would you please look at the message before I can execute. You know exactly what needs to happen. There's also a high likelihood that there's a lot of guys who would not even necessarily typically be considered to be feminine in any way and will consider themselves to be quite masc and not stereotypically gay, that might also not seem appealing to you. I am by no means trying to make any assumptions or accusations about you. I truly would just like a chat and see if there's a way we can find out how to make dating a bit easier for you. My DMs are always open. Catch. My DMs are always open. Catch. So feel free to reach out if interested. Oh my God, drop a bomb on that. How about drop a bomb on that? Okay. And then the one right and then the one right after that says send the pic. Let's see what we're working with. leave it to the gays to always make a situation a potential situation, right? Okay, so I agree with a lot of what the poster has said. The second posting guy has said. It definitely, I always joke around and said it's important to listen to the subtext and the context of the scene. I learned this back when I was in theater school, when we study and examine the text in the scene to create the character, right? Like I said, he said that he doesn't lead with his sexuality, but his absolutes are masculine, and he has a whole thing. When you have a whole, regimen right in front of you, but you're not gonna see much, sir. You're not gonna see much. Okay, I think the second poster really hit the nail on the head with his message. Anyway, we're gonna be doing these nightly. Thank you for being here. I will be going live in a few minutes on my other, not my other channel, but on my other setup, and we're probably gonna discuss this a little bit further. So make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the subscribe and the bell so you see when I come through. And if you have any advice for this fella, feel free to leave it in the box below. I am tagging them, so they'll be able to find what we're talking about. All right. So I'll see you guys shortly, and thank you for coming through. And I will see you guys again tomorrow for another advice video. All right. Peace.